This is a story called The Lonely Old Man Called Pete. It was 1985 and an old man called Pete, who was aged about 75, had just lost his wife Mary to a bad stroke, followed by a massive heart attack. After Mary died, Pete became a very lonely old man. He did have 6 children who were all grown up, but he hardly ever saw them. Pete was very set in his ways, and he was also a very proud man. He did his best to keep his house and garden looking clean and tidy, but he really struggled, and he eventually let them go. His house wasn't very clean and his garden was very overgrown. However, one of the neighbours saw the state of Pete's garden and offered to help him because he was a fully qualified gardener. Pete gratefully accepted the man's help, and the man soon realised that Pete was a very lovely, sweet, but also a very lonely old man. When the gardener, who was called Mark, told his family and friends about Pete, they all chipped in to help him. They took him shopping for paint and wallpaper, and they all cleaned and decorated his house from top to bottom. Pete was so happy to have his house and garden back to how it used to be. One day, Mark's 2 children, Bessie and Connor, called in to see Pete, and they found him in tears. They didn't know what to do, so they went and got their parents, who came to Pete's side straight away. It turned out that none of his kids could be with him at Christmas. One of his daughters lived in New York, his other daughter lived in Australia, and his sons were all going away. The neighbours all rallied round to make Christmas a special occasion for Pete, and he was very grateful. What Pete didn't realise was that his kids all planned to take him to New York to see his daughter. Pete was very thrilled by this surprise, and he could barely contain his excitement. Once the neighbours told Pete's kids about he'd let his house and garden go, they realised he couldn't cope on his own with the upkeep of his house and garden. However, Pete coped 100% with his own needs, just not the house and garden. After a long talk with one of his sons, who was living in a small 3-bedroomed house with his wife and 6 kids, they agreed they would all live together at Pete's house. After all, he did live in a big 10-bedroomed mansion. All the kids could have their own rooms. Pete had always slept in the master bedroom, but he decided to let his son and his wife have that, and they moved into a smaller room downstairs. This was easier for him, as he did struggle with the stairs. His room had a beautiful ensuite with all he needed, and Pete was very happy with the new living arrangements. Once his family moved in, Pete was no longer lonely. Mark the gardener and his son were given a permanent contract, and they kept the garden looking beautiful. The end. Thank you.